Now we get to the most important person who asks, what's in it for me? Let's see if we can apply what we've learned so far to answer that question for them. We will review 4 concepts that should help you talking to your clients. First, the guaranteed lease end value. The lease agreement is structured for the client to pay monthly payments for 2 to 3 years, reducing the balance to a predetermined amount. At lease end, the client has options they can exercise on that amount. We talked about these earlier, but let's review them briefly. This is the most important advantage of leasing for your client. They can keep it. If the appraisal from Old Lowball is more than the lease end value, this could be a good option for your client. Just be sure to remind them about warranty concerns and taxes and fees that may apply. Now let me just throw in a word about your appraiser. This person has a thankless job. Every time he puts a number on a car, he's spending his dealer's money. He has to be able to justify that number to the dealer, to you, and sometimes face-to-face with the client. So show him some love now and then. The second thing they can do is trade or sell the car. Again, refer to the appraisal. If the client has some profit coming and they want a new car, the dealership buys the car from the leasing company and assigns the profit as upfront cash. This is a reimbursement to your client of overpaid depreciation. The final thing is they can turn it in. This is the true beauty of leasing. Any additional depreciation suffered due to market conditions is paid for by the leasing company. This is depreciation insurance. Now, none of these options are bad for your client. If the market's strong for their car, they win. If the market's bad for their car, they win. And you are always the good guy. So let's talk a little about predetermined depreciation. Leasing is the only way to know at the time you get the car exactly how much depreciation you're going to pay. Everyone knows their car is going to depreciate. Having to tell clients just how much has probably caused us all to munch a few antacids. The used car market is volatile, always is. Leasing eliminates that gray area for your client. The total depreciation is actually disclosed on the contract. Let's look at reduced risk exposure. So let's take a look at some factors that determine vehicle depreciation. Miles and conditions, those are obvious. When your client leases, these are the only 2 factors they're responsible for. Again, the leasing company assumes the rest. Let's talk about bad publicity. This can be a killer. In the late 80s, incidents of sudden unintended acceleration were alleged about the Audi 5000 sedan. 60 Minutes did a big expose. Lawsuits piled up. This went on for years. The NHTSA and its Canadian counterpart were never able to rule out driver error. But the damage was done and that model died. And it took Audi years to regain the sales volume. Owners took huge losses to unload those cars. Now, factory error can also be associated with the Audi 5000. Do you ever wonder why you have to put your foot on the brakes before you can shift out of park? That safety feature was the result of the Audi 5000 disaster. Now, accidents also have a powerful effect on resale, even when repaired properly. Carfax histories have the information. I had an accident in my leased 2010 BMW. Had it repaired to the tune of $6,500. Now all the damage was surface, hood, bumper, fender, headlight. I even kept driving the car while we were waiting on parts. At the lease end, the accident reduced the market value close to $5,000. Well, I just turned the keys and leased another car. Now, coloring equipment can be important. Is yellow hot this year, or is green was 3 years ago? Who knows? And then, of course, fuel cost. Remember the last time oil prices went to $100 a barrel? Everybody is trying to trade big pickups and SUVs for smaller fuel sippers. Supply and demand strikes again. Big pickups and SUV values dropped. Gas sipper values, those went up. Now, time of year can be important. Convertibles in January, not that hot a deal. Now, the economy is very important. My first lease was a 1998 Cadillac Catera. This car was built by Opel in Germany and rebadged as a Cadillac in the US. It was a fun little rear-wheel drive sports sedan. At Leasing, the car was clean, no accidents, and had around 32,000 miles. But the economy was a mess. It was October 2001, 1 month after the 9/11 attacks. Cars were flat not selling. But wait, there's more. Cadillac had discontinued the Catera. My lease-in value was $20,000. The appraised value was $12,000. Needless to say, I was sold on leasing. Now technology is advancing at a frantic pace. Wi-Fi in a car, we would not have even thought it possible a few years ago. Leasing provides simpler and faster transactions for your client because they don't own the vehicle. There are some purchase documents they don't have to sign. With returning lease clients, the process is even much quicker, especially if you've had the pre-inspection and options review done ahead of time. Now, as you grow your lease portfolio, keep in mind that the client's primary concern will change with each subsequent lease. With the first lease, the client's focus is going to be on transparency. They want you to be open, honest, fully disclose everything, and take the time to fully explain and address any questions or concerns they have. With the second lease, the client focuses on speed. They trust you, they like you, so be efficient. Work with your business office to have as much completed as possible before delivery. Honor that client's time. Now with the third lease, the client wants personalization. They trust you, they like you, they know that you're efficient. It's time for some romance. Download a playlist to the new car of some music you think they'd like. Put a nice bottle of wine and a thank you card on the seat, or a gift certificate to a nice restaurant. Be creative, have some fun, create an advocate. Leasing provides your client with a guaranteed future value, a predetermined depreciation amount, protection from risk factors, simpler negotiations, and simpler paperwork. Now that answers what's in it for me for your client. Now, let's move on and wrap this up.